hear it in the background along with the birds chirping. But
I love it. It's I was just saying to Lana before we went live here that the birds chirping in the background makes it very Snow White-esque.
it totally does. I hope you can hear the drum in the background as well.
Lana Parrilla, we have so much to talk about because once upon a time, it's been in the news lately for some cast changes, but the most important thing is that you're coming back. We're going to see more Regina, more of the Evil Queen in season 7.
I'm very excited. I'm very happy to be coming back.
What is it about this character? I think I know the answer to this, but what is it about Regina that has you so excited as an actress to play her each week?
She is by far the most complicated character I've ever had to portray. I love that I never know what she's going to do next. I love that she's constantly searching to be a better human being for herself and others. I love that she's constantly evolving. And I can't wait to see her get her happy ending. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm hoping in season 7, we're going to get a taste of, you know, Regina's happiness and hopefully sustain it for some time.
The way season 6 ended, the final battle, we got those 2 scenes at the end, one with Regina and the dwarves were bowing to her and they put Queen on her door. And then we also saw the Evil Queen in a final moment getting proposed to. So those were happy endings. And if the show had ended right there, would you have been happy with those endings?
Yes, I would be. I feel that Regina doesn't necessarily need a partner to have a happy ending. She once said that being at peace with herself is her happy ending. And I feel like she's reached that place. She seems very content. She's made amends with many people in her life. She has a great family. She has an incredible relationship with her son. She has new friends, and you know, Snow White and Prince Charming are family. And it seems like she has everything that she's wanted, although I think she would benefit having an intimate romantic love in her life.
Somebody that doesn't die off.
Someone that's not taken away from her and killed by some crazy magic.
Right. The trajectory of your character from the pilot episode to the end of season 6 is just so incredible. Can you talk a little bit about how she's grown over the years? And that has a lot to do with Eddie and Adam, your masterful showrunners.
Yes. Regina has come far over the last 6 years. We were introduced to her as this vengeful, angry, complex, evil queen who, you know, cast this curse and then really continued with that sort of mentality and sort of drive in Storybrooke, where she was still possessed that darkness and that evil sort of tendencies and nature in her. But she, because we met her as a mother, she was a bit more evolved in Storybrooke than she was back in the Enchanted Forest as the Evil Queen. And I think having Henry and the fear of losing him is really what sent her on that path of, you know, sort of self-enhancement and you know, making better choices in her life to keep the ones she loved close to her. And you saw that sort of internal struggle over the years, and you've seen her grow as a mother, as a friend, as a woman, as the mayor. And I love where she's ended up. And my biggest thing for her was I always felt bad that she wasn't able to find, she eventually did, but it took her some time to sort of embrace both parts of her, that darkness that she really just despised for so long. And we all have parts in ourselves that we don't like, that we dislike, that we try to suppress or we try to squash. And I think it's critical for humans to learn to embrace their darkness, because it's there for a reason. And that's what we saw in episode 614 in the 6th season, where Regina was having this, you know, battle with her darkness, the Evil Queen, and she chooses to finally accept herself and embrace it. And really that's what the Evil Queen wanted all along, was to be accepted, to be loved, to be understood. And she finally had that. Both these women had this beautiful closure in episode 14. And I love where, you know, the journey that Regina has been on over the years. She's become such an inspiring character for so many. I've learned a tremendous amount from her, just to keep striving to, you know, be a better me. And that's really kind of her motto. Her message really is that good can come from broken. And that's something I really love. And I know that's something I gave to her, but it really makes sense. And she always believed that she could be a better person. Even in moments when she doubted it, there must have been a deeper part of her that really strived to, you know, change, and she put the hard work and effort in, and she's reaping the rewards now. So it's really, I never thought I would play a character for 6 years, first of all, but one that really has grown to the levels that she has. It's been a phenomenal journey to be able to tell her story over 6 years.
One of the great moments about season 6 was that we saw many, many themes of Regina and the Evil Queen in the same scene, battling it out. Can you talk us through what it's like to film a scene against yourself, basically?
It's very tricky. I've seen it in Orphan Black, and Tatiana Maslany does such a beautiful job. Sorry for that drilling back there. It's quite loud. I watched a lot of those Orphan Black episodes and sort of the making of behind the scenes to see how they did it. And as I'm sure, our production did their research, because on the day they seem to have it all together. And basically it's a lot of time. It's very technical. There's a changeover that takes place. Once I'm playing Regina, that's an easy look to sort of put together, but then transferring over into the Evil Queen is about a 2-hour changeover. So, sometimes depending on if there was time to go shoot another scene in between, they would and have me in the works. And then I would come back and film the other side. And every time I was playing either character, we always had a double who was portraying either Regina or the Evil Queen to play opposite me. Those girls, I asked if we can hire real actresses, because it's nice to be able to work with someone. And I worked with these actresses pretty closely, and sort of educated them a bit on who Regina is and who the Evil Queen is, and but wanted to give them their sort of creative freedom to bring their own flavor to the character. But still always being conscious of what I was going to do on the other side. So it was quite tricky. It was fun to sort of direct these actresses and make sure that they were using their bodies in the same way that I do for both of these characters. The Evil Queen she has more fluidity. She loves to move. She uses her hands more. She's very sensual. Regina is a bit more, sort of stoic and still, and she uses her body very differently. So I had to sort of train these actresses on how to walk and move like me, but wanted them to have the creative freedom to use their words, not sound like me, don't mimic my performance, be free. And that made it fun and a lot easier.
And fans will be missing some characters next year, like Snow White and Prince Charming, and Emma and Zelina and Belle. On the one hand, you're probably really excited to see, Regina's new storyline and how that evolves. But are you also a little bit sad that you're losing so many co-stars and friends?
Very much, very much. We've been a family over the years, and once upon a time is all of us, right? So it's what I'm used to. It's what I know. We have developed strong relationships. I'm really going to miss working alongside all those people moving forward. But I am excited to see what the next chapter is for Regina, and who this new Henry is.
Yeah.
Older, does that mean I'm aging?
I was
Do
going to
I
ask you that.
stay like this? And what does that mean? I don't know. I haven't had many creative conversations with Adam and Eddie. I do know that we're playing sort of different characters. I don't know if we're doing a different version of ourselves. It's all unknown.
Right.
But
And that's what makes it exciting. Every year the show, it doesn't really reinvent itself this much, but there's always these huge twists and turns, and that's what keeps fans loving the show for 6 years. I remember my favorite twist the show ever did was the season 2 premiere when Emma goes through the portal and she arrives in the Enchanted Forest, and I had just thought the Enchanted Forest was gone, that your curse got rid of it.
right.
And seeing her in the Enchanted Forest and all the other characters were kind of back home, that was mind-blowing for me.
It was. We've really sort of found ways to blend these realms and to travel and through them, which has been great for storytelling because we can go in any direction and kind of, set it up that way. Once Upon a Time has a particular sort of formula where anything goes. Having magic really opens the doors for telling a lot of different stories and to also, integrate new characters and a lot of Disney characters and some other mythical, characters like sirens and Frankenstein. And
Is there anyone, like any Disney universe character that we haven't seen yet that you're kind of rooting for to see in the new season?
I think we should somehow incorporate Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
I think that, Adam and Eddie are huge Star Wars fans, and if there was a way to bring Darth Vader in, that would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
I would say he would probably be a better love interest for the Evil Queen, but now she's taken. But it would just be fun, I think, to sort of battle him. I've seen crazy fan art with the Evil Queen versus Darth Vader, and they're both holding lightsabers. I just love that. It would be fun to bring Star Wars in, or Indiana Jones, any of those Disney characters, but something kind of a little more contemporary, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Like when you guys did Frozen, that was very contemporary and very hot.
Yes, it was. It was. I have no idea what season 7's like. I'm having dinner with Eddie tonight, though, and I'm going to talk his ear off and try to get some information and also, just pry a bit, see what he can divulge.
Now, I never thought we would see the Evil Queen singing and dancing, but we had a huge musical episode this season. What was your reaction when they came to you and said, you're going to be singing a song dressed up as the Evil Queen?
I thought, well, thank God, because if I suck, it's her fault, not mine. I can hide behind the Evil Queen's voice. I initially was terrified. I like to sing not in public. I do enjoy, singing with friends and stuff in the car or, at a house party and such. But to sing publicly has been a fear of mine for many, many years. And I just thought, well, there's no getting out of this, so I got to figure it out. And once we started doing, rehearsals and started working with the vocal coach, I started feeling a little more confident. The dancing for me was so much fun. It woke up the young dancer in me. I danced for many years, my late teens and 20s, and it was fun to go back to that. I had a blast. I would love to do another musical episode or any Broadway musical production in my future. I would love that.
Your big solo number was called Love Doesn't Stand a Chance. And it was, the process is basically you do the song first in the studio, and then they kind of play that song as you're doing the acting scene, right?
Correct. Yes.
So
we went in and pre-recorded all the songs, and then on the filming day, they would play the songs on a very loud speaker, and we would then mouth to the music or sing along. But we didn't necessarily mic ourselves because it's all, the song's already set, and so we didn't really mic ourselves on the day since we had already recorded. It was not necessary. And so it gave us this sort of like a lot of freedom to kind of have fun with it, sound bad or not sound bad. But yeah, that was pretty much the process. It was once you recorded, like it felt like 50% of it was over.
The Evil Queen always uses magic. She's always, you know, doing things with her hands, as you said earlier. Can you show us your method so that your fans know what is it without the special effects and the visual effects? What does it look like? I'm just curious.
Well, what I create visually for myself is, I think of like forming a ball. Kind of, I played softball growing up, so kind of holding the ball in your hand and kind of turning it over, but having a little tension, because obviously it has some weight to it, and it's a fireball and it's hot, but I don't necessarily feel the temperature. But I just bring my hand over and then I hold it and I try to give it some weight so it visually reads as if there's really a fireball in my hand. That's pretty much it. And all the sort of magical gestures that I do, I love William Blake, and I love all the gestures that he has in beautiful art, and I look at those images often and pull from those images depending on what's happening with Regina and what kind of magic she's doing, who she's using it against. I sort of do my research. I have my William Blake books here, and I flip through them and look for the gesture that sort of pops out to me, and then I try to recreate that. And they give us the sort of freedom to, you know, convey the magic in any way that we want, as long as it's sort of, you know, working with them visually for the vis effects. You know, you have to keep some distance, and you can't have your hands too close to you. So there's a lot of technical stuff that involves it, but I mean, I love it. I just create it all. It's like you're a kid again, and you're in this magical forest fighting dragons, and, you know, your friends are hiding behind a bush and you're going to protect them, and you just end up with sort of creating this imaginary world, and it's fun.
Before your role on Once Upon a Time, what role did fans come up to you and recognize you from the most?
Probably Swingtown. Trina Decker. She was another controversial character that I played, and I loved her. I miss her a lot. She was a blast. She was so free and fun and devilish in her ways. She was, she's very different than I am fun and free in many ways, but I'm not a swinger. But kudos to her. It was just fun to be in 1976 and wear those clothes and sort of be that free, because that's how life was then, right?
I'm a huge Lost fan, and of course that's where Eddie and Adam came from. And you were in the episode where Charlie was drowned. You played the other named Greta, I think. What are your memories from shooting that scene, or those scenes?
We were in, I think we were on some sort of sound stage or hangar. We were in a hangar, I think, and there was this sort of underwater tank, I'm forgetting the name of it, was built on this set. There was an actual pool that I fell into that was a part of this set. The set was phenomenal. So that in itself was awesome and magical. But working with everyone was a ton of fun. First of all, you're in Hawaii. I went surfing with everyone every morning. And then you go straight to work, and it doesn't matter really what you look like because you're on an island. So it's like, it's okay if there's sand in my hair. There would be sand in my hair. So there was minimal makeup, minimal hair and makeup, and I enjoyed that. I loved working on a show that I was also a fan of. I watched all the episodes. A friend of mine, Jorge Garcia, you know, was Hurley, and We started studying together when I was about 19 years old. So to be on his show was it just felt so great to be there celebrating him and his huge success. So I had a great time. I actually extended my trip, and I was there for 3 weeks, and I think I stayed for 5 weeks and just hung out in Hawaii. It was an awesome gig.
Sounds like a dream job. Oh my gosh.
It was really cool. We sometimes wish that we were filming in Hawaii, but I guess we wouldn't.
Right. Instead, you have the snow. You don't have the,
So we have the snow and the rain.
Well, we're a big Emmy website here at Gold Derby, and we're hoping that Emmy voters are watching the show, and not just your performance where you played 2 characters this year, but all of the visual effects and the costumes and the makeup. And it's quite a production you guys are putting on, 22 episodes a year.
Yes, it's huge. And what we accomplish in, 9 days, it's really like 8 to 9 days each episode, is unheard of. The costume department, how Eduardo Castro constantly, puts out incredible costumes at the pace that he does is unbelievable. His whole team is phenomenal. Hair and makeup, I've never seen a hair and makeup team work harder. They are nonstop. We have 8 million characters in every episode, so they are just, they get there before us, they leave after us. Our crew is phenomenal. I think that Once Upon a Time is a very unique show for so many reasons. That our storytelling is unique. Our sort of positive message that we have in every episode you don't see often. That's why it's such a great Disney family show. But it's really incredible visually what we're able to create in such a short amount of time, and the amount of the sets, the how many stories we tell in just one episode. It takes a lot of magic, and everyone brings it. So it's a sort of collective, collaborative environment, and I'm proud of what we've done over 6 years.
Well, I've been a fan since the pilot. I will continue to watch until the show ends, hopefully, 3 or 4 years from now. But thank you for chatting with us today, and we will see you in season 7.
Thank you very much. You take care.